Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your Northern Ag TV. Well, this has been a busy week for important hearings in Washington, D.C. that have some direct implications here in the Northern Ag Territory. One of those hearings came from the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee to discuss those Army Corps of Engineers Civil Works program and policies under the consideration for the Water Resource Development Act of 2026. Now, that hearing featured testimony from Assistant Secretary of the Army of Civil Works Adam Telle, who told U.S. Senator Kevin Cramer of North Dakota that they are hard at work on building that infrastructure, not paperwork initiatives regarding the proposed Waters of the U.S. rule that is in the moving of its finalization process.
I'll say we've already got a walking start because the Sackett decision that was rendered by the Supreme Court in 2023 was the law of the land, and on March 12th of last year, we issued interim guidance to our regulators throughout our enterprise about what it meant to follow the law as it stands. We've also, as you mentioned, gotten busy with our partners at the Environmental Protection Agency on making sure that our rules match the law as it stands today. We're intent on following the law.
Now, Telle also told Senator Cramer the Army Corps of Engineers is in the middle of developing a tool that makes it easier for all workers to clearly and consistently interpret the law.
We rely on our regulators, who are wonderful people, to interpret the law. And quite often I've heard frustration from members of Congress, from the public, about the inconsistency they see across the landscape. If it's the law, it ought to be interpreted by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers employees consistently. And it ought to be in keeping with the law. And so we began the process in the fall of a very rapid acquisition of the latest technology to make sure that we can use the tools available that we have, the never before seen in human history data that we have, to tie geographic features about what a water of the United States is back to the law, all the way back to the Clean Water Act of 1972 and through all the decisions that have come ever since. If we can provide this tool to our regulators, we can we can take subjectivity out of the equation. We can give our regulators a tool. The tool may not provide the final decision. That may still be our regulators. But if they have a tool, which we're very rapidly developing to coincide with the finalized rule, it will provide clarity and durability to the public.
Also from Capitol Hill this week, the Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources held the BLM Director nominee Stevan Pearce as he was questioned by U.S. Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming on amending the Rock Springs Resource Management Plan. Pearce said that he was willing to work with the senator to amend the Biden-era plan.
Absolutely, Senator. I think one of the more important elements of any plan is local input. Custom and culture is known by the people who live in an area, very seldom known by the people in Washington, and that is a strong commitment I make.
Now, there is still more work to be done on getting Pearce's confirmation across the finish line, as he is still yet to be passed out of the committee and onto the full Senate. Well, that's going to do it for today's Northern Ag TV. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.